Welcome back, everybody. My name is Dragagon, and this is Gregtech New Horizons. So a bit of work has been done since you guys last joined me. You can see right now my EBF is running, and that is because I am working on this request right here, working on getting solarium and getting 16 solarium ingots. I don't have helium, so I have to use the 50-second version that takes quite a bit of power. So I've got lots of oil distilling for my diesel fuel down there in order to make sure I have enough power to keep my EBF going. However, in the meantime, I have mostly set up my biodiesel setup over here. You can see I've expanded the roof a little bit to make sure that I cover all these machines because I don't want any of them accidentally going kaboom. And then in addition to that, I might want to make this one more. It didn't blow up during the last rainstorm, but that doesn't mean that I want to take any chances. I moved my fishery setup from running along that way to running along this way. It pumps it into a buffer chest, a hopper, and then into the basic fluid extractor. You can see right now it's completely full because the ultra low voltage fluid tank here is full, and it's because my basic chemical reactor is all set up, but I need to put methanol here. So I am looking to get a tank put up right here with a pump in order to allow it to pump down into both of these guys. You can see this is a wonderful bit of spaghetti as I was trying to do stuff. Once it processes out of here, it is the biodiesel, and so I have these hoppers to extract the cells and put it up into this super tank, and then the super tank can extract the cells, and one set runs around over to the fluid extractor for the seeds, and the other one runs around to the fluid extractor for the fish oil, and then the process just continues to cycle. Right now I've gotten kind of low tech, and I've got two hoppers filled with the tiny piles of sodium hydroxide in order to keep these guys filled with that, and then otherwise just a quick little tunnel down just so that I could play with the spaghetti mess that is my biodiesel setup. If I come over this way, however, you can see where I'm trying to make one floor at one height, and then I'm going to go all the way down there for a lower height floor, but I haven't quite got that far. But this is the other setup right here. I have an advanced coke oven. I need to get a slightly faster conveyor belt here because the low voltage one just cannot keep up with moving out enough of the charcoal in order to fill these guys up. But this guy is power positive at this point. Even when I was running just one, because only one was running, but each additional one just keeps it going that much faster, and so it is producing enough benzene to fill my advanced gas turbine. So I stuck a super tank down here in order to collect more benzene so that I can then ship it over to the farm area. What I'm looking at doing is running a line from here over to where this battery buffer is currently and slapping a gas turbine there, and then powering both my tree farm and my seed farm off of that. And then I may attempt to run it further, although I'm thinking if that's running both of these guys and it's keeping itself self-sufficient, then I will get the biodiesel setup, and the biodiesel setup will run itself and hopefully be power positive on that as well. I've basically shut down my pyrolyze oven. I don't know how well I like the pyrolyze oven. I may start it back up, especially if I get a steel boiler tank going and getting a full line of HV, or almost a full line of HV out of it by combining 15 of these basic steam turbines and making it's really 3.75 amps of MV, so it's not quite one full amp of HV, but that might do nicely just to keep this stuff running. But otherwise, my stores of wood, yeah, you can see I've already I've already gone through half my wood, so I'm going to need to hurry up and get this guy set back up with more fertilizer and build that gas turbine. So those are my goals right now. Getting a gas turbine here so that it can run both of these guys. I need to work on more fertilizer in order to keep these guys well fertilized in order for it to continue to produce this stuff. Once I get more saplings, the saplings can come over here and make the fermented biomass. I'm not a fan of the fermented biomass. I actually would like to go instead from saplings to the forestry fermenter, and then from the forestry fermenter over to ethylene using the still. Although I might be able to switch this guy around to give me regular biomass instead of the fermented biomass, and that would maybe be one step faster. So I'm not sure yet, still playing around with that. I'm just kind of trying to get loops set up so that they don't overfill with other things. So that's my goal for today, is just trying to get some of those things set up, and then making it so that I don't have to go manually pick up oil in order to keep my oil processor running. Real quick though, let's go have a look and see how far along this guy is. Oh, he's stopped. So that's should be a good thing. Yep, there it is. All 16 solarium ingots. And that then opens up the slice and splice, which is what I was originally doing that for. The wireless charger, not worried about so much. It's really this slice and splice that I wanted to get done. 2 solarium plates. I can easily make the electric motors, iron axe, and shears. I already have the machine chassis, and I still have, I think, 3/4 of a stack of MV chips up in my setup. So right over here, yeah, too short of 3/4 of a stack of MV. And then one last update, I am working on my crops still. I ended up getting, right over here, I ended up getting live root. This live root crop is good for, I believe you can make the, once you get the dust, you can make, I think that's what my mallet is made out of right here, a soft mallet, ironwood. So maybe not. I'm hoping that the live root is something useful, and once I can duplicate it here on this spot, then I'll pull it out and I'll still work on the blaze reed. And then over here, still working on duplicating the magic metal berries. This is an ore berry, the gold ore berry, and this is the argentum, the silver plant. And so I'm hoping to get the Aurelia plant for Aurelia leaves so that I can start duplicating gold. It was recommended to me that I really need to get that crop going simply because of the amount of silver and gold that you need in order to make electrum, in order to make any of the HV motors. The next quest I'm wanting to do is this guy right here. You're going to hate this. And you go and you look at the pumps and stuff, and it's steel, a little bit of stainless steel, but it's when you get to the electric motor, it requires a 4x electrum wire and a 2x silver cable. So for every motor, you're looking at 4 gold and 6 silver, in addition to the 1 stainless steel and a half a regular steel to make each of these guys. So I am not really looking forward to that. I've got my miner currently mining up. I've got it placed right here right now. I had 2 gold spots next to each other, so basically I'm going to go from here to here to here and then up, and I'll get a little bit of redstone when I do it this way, and then this one it says it's got nothing, but I'm sure I'll pull up small ores and things. So basically I'm trying to clean out essentially an what is this, a 9x9 area by doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, maybe it's not a 9x9, maybe it's only an 8x4 or a 6x4 rather. But yeah, just trying to get all that gold up so that I can start using it in my ore processing setup in order to get further into HV. So I'll bring you guys back in once I've got a little bit more going. Again, I'm going to try and get my biodiesel done, try and get this guy a little bit faster, because you can see he's turning off because that one conveyor is just not quite fast enough to keep all of those fluid extractors up and running. But my benzene setup is going. It is power positive. I'd like to get biodiesel going, and that way I can convert this guy, my diesel setup, over to, I'm going to keep the setup, but it's primarily going to be used for the rocket fuel, since you need diesel to make the rocket fuel for Galacticraft, which I'm hoping to get into before too long. So we'll see what this weekend has to hold. It is a long weekend for me. I've got, what is this, 5 days off? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 4 days off. It is Christmas, so yeah, we're going to have fun this weekend. Anyway, I will see you back here in a bit. And I'm back, and I finally got all of the gold and silver I needed to make all the motors. I've gone ahead and I've made a second piston, because the robot arm requires a piston. Let's see here. Why isn't this forming up? Robot arm. Oh, it requires one of my HV. That's right. We're in the HV tier, so we need the HV chips. Alright, so if I put my one HV chip in, there's my robot arm. There we go. Quest complete. You're going to hate this 1 through 4 in HV, and that opens up just a ton of quests. Let's see here. It looks like the chemical reactor, the canning machine, the assembler, the autoclave, the macerator, that's the quest that I was wanting to open up, the sifting machine, the advanced miner. The advanced miner would be very nice getting to the HV miner. What else do we have? And then the HV, the advanced extruder 2, and then our goal of getting to the moon, because I need titanium in order to do that. The only problem with this quest right here is that I need to get the implosion compressor done, and then down here in the space race I need to start with the wafers and start working on the different parts that I need for Galacticraft. So in the meantime, the whole reason I was doing this was so that I could make a second one of these guys. Another one of those. Oops. I have these chips hiding in here. And then I'm going to need one more stainless steel. And the reason I'm doing all of this mess is because I am trying to make the farming station. The farming station requires 2 of those HV arms. And then I'm still going to have to work on the electrical steel. That, I believe, takes 4. Okay, so I'm going to need to make 8 of the electrical steel, but if you notice in my inventory, I have everything else ready to go for this guy. I've got all of that there, and then just need the machine chassis. So there's the machine chassis, so now I just need the electrical steel. Now, I don't believe I have the electrical steel or dust in here. Just a little bit of pulsating iron. And I don't know if I've got electrical steel in this mess either. I probably need to make up a set of 9 of the electrical steel. Silver dust, more silver dust, yeah. So that's going to be the next little bit. I'm going to run away then and get crafting on the 9 electrical steel that I'll need. While I'm mixing up electrical steel, I may also go ahead and mix up the dark steel that I need in order to complete this dark steel quest. It wants 32 of that, and the dark steel to make it requires the electrical steel. So I'm going to go ahead and run away, and I'll join you back here in a bit. And we're back. I decided just to go with just the electrical steel in order to get my farming station. Now, the reason I haven't done the rest of the dark steel is because it wants to have obsidian dust. Now, obsidian dust, if I just do it in the macerator, you can macerate obsidian to crushed obsidian and then macerate it a second time, and you get 1 obsidian dust every time you do that. What I'd rather do is make the sag mill, because in the sag mill I can do 1 obsidian to 4 dusts, and those dusts will work for doing stuff like alamite, dark steel, etc. I can do it with those, and it'll give me a 4-to-1 with the sag mill. And the sag mill is nice and cheap. It is only LV tier with some materials. I'm just short on the electronic circuits for the LV tier right now, so I'm going to wait until I make another batch of LV chips, and then I will make the sag mill, and then that'll get me into the dark steel there for that. Now, I don't know if you guys saw it, but I saw it. Now I've got to figure out where it is. Ah, there it is. This popped up. Oh, that's unfortunate. I didn't realize that it popped up between getting the slice and splice and completing this guy. I had parts of it sitting in my in my crafting table ahead of time. So now all I need to do is go and re-get a lot of this stuff. I'll reuse a lot of it. But the reason I went for the farming station is because of how much easier it is on my tree farm. For the tree farm, with the farming station, I no longer need the fertilizer. I can just use water. So what I'm going to end up doing is coming over here, and I still want to use the same spot, at least I think I do right now. That's what I'm thinking. And go ahead and dig all this up, dig up all the sand, and then place the farming station here, and then have the farming station run this whole thing instead of having it be the forestry farm. That will negate the necessity for me using fertilizer. At least I believe so. I can put fertilizer in, but it's not necessary. Instead, I can just have the saplings grow. And I may not even need water by the looks of this. I will have to look at that and figure it out. But it would be really nice if I didn't need either of those things, and then I can just grab spruce and have it all fill my system without needing... at the very least, without needing fertilizer. If it also does not need water, that would be a fantastic boon as well. And if that's the case, I may end up moving it a bit closer to the base so that I can move some of this stuff a bit closer to the base so that I can make a more centralized power area. So that's the next thing on my list. Let's see. Biodiesel I'm still working on. The thing with biodiesel is that I'd like to make the fermenter from forestry, because the forestry fermenter is really nice. And it's fairly cheap too. It's a sturdy casing with some tanks and some copper nickel, tin, small steel. Not much cost at all for the fermenter. And the fermenter can take the saplings directly and convert them into biomass. It just takes a little bit of fertilizer or mulch to do that, and then along with the fermenter also getting the still. And the still it's also pretty cheap. It just takes a coil as opposed to a rotor. Exact same setup. And then the still can convert biomass to ethanol, and then the ethanol I can use with my biodiesel setup rather than trying to go from the fermented biomass in the pyrolyze oven to to methanol, which takes 75 seconds in this advanced fermenter or in the distillery, things like that. So basically just trying to get a little bit more of a nice power setup that doesn't take a long time, that I can just let run AFK without having to worry too much about it. So yeah, I guess I will have you guys join me maybe once I've got my forestry farm ripped apart and set back up so that it can power my advanced coke oven. I also went and found didn't find. When I was making the HV components, I took the conveyor belt that it has you make, and I stuck the conveyor belt onto the coke oven so that it can get the charcoal out to the fluid extractors that much faster. So hopefully that will speed up that, and it will start to use all 12 of them instead of being stuck at, just the first 3 with me manually feeding the 4th and 5th one. So yeah, I will see you back here after a while. And we're back one last time. So in between where I cut last time and today, several hours have passed. I set up my farm, which I'll take you and show you in just a little bit, but I realized that I need an unbreakable axe. So the reason it's been the rest of the day for me yesterday and then into today is because I was doing a bunch of farming, and I have basically all the stuff I need now in order to make the rest of the food products to complete the healing axe. You can see I already did the delighted meal and the hearty breakfast. I have these other guys left to go. I've just been taking my time, I guess, and trying to get these various bits done. Let's see here. That one, salt, and that gets me the pork sausage. All right, and then pork sausage, mincemeat. I need the pot. Okay, over here. So one of the other things I did while I was working towards this quest is I went ahead and I did all of the quest line that gets you to the hearty breakfast, in addition to then now working on the hunger axe here. So let's see here. I need pot, I need pizzas, I need mincemeat, pepperoni, pork sausage, and some cooked chicken. There we go. The Meat Fest pizzas are done. Let's see. So I've got that one done. I did those 3 off camera. So next is the rainbow curry. So rice, salt, coconut milk, spice leaves, chili peppers. All right. So rice, salt, spice leaves, bell peppers. Peppers? Is that what I needed? No, chili peppers, and then the either the spice leaves, okay, and then the coconut milk. So coconut milk, peppers, and we'll use not the ginger. What am I missing? Sorry, this is not my greatest moment. Saucepan. Saucepan. There we go. And that will make me those things of curry rice. Now, I must say, the hardest part about this entire mess is this next step coming up. So, in order to make the rainbow curry, you need blue orchids, grass, burning blossoms, dandelions, poppies, and lavender. If I pop open my journey map, so my base is all the way down here. I used my compass, nature's compass, to find this lavender field. I'm also contemplating possibly moving my base over to this. This is a rainforest over here, and rainforest does really well for growing your crops. And then there's this gigantic hill here. And so I was considering maybe making an underground evil lair or something like that, and coming over here and putting my bees and crops into this area, and then me taking over a large underground portion for a base. I haven't decided whether I want to do that for sure or not. The rainforest is one of the top 6 biomes to do your plants, the IC2 plants in, because it has a 10 in nutrient and it's got a rainfall of 1, which means that you get lots of water and the nutrient. So I'm considering doing that. Haven't fully decided yet, but that is on the list. In any case, arguably the hardest part, though, is this burning blossom. These things only spawn in the nether, and they don't come in very large groups. So there's one of my heads from when I was running around in the nether trying to find enough burning blossom. The lavender, of course, I had to go to the lavender fields to get. Using my steel shears that are in here, I grabbed the grass, and then using a ton of bone meal, I got the dandelions and poppies, and then the blue orchids, I had a field of them just over here in my redwood forest. So that was all of those guys. Let's see here. I don't need you anymore. You. I don't need you. I don't need you. There we go. So let's see here. I have the bowls. I have the curry. I have dandelions, poppies, blue orchid, grass, lavender, that one. And then what's the last little bit for this guy? The skillet. I don't have the skillet right now. There's the skillet. I'll put the knife back, put the pot back. And there is my 16 rainbow curry. Oh, I guess the bowls don't get used up when you make the rainbow curry that way. Interesting. All right, that's all right. I'll just throw them back in there. Okay, so that gets me my Meat Fest pizza, my rainbow curry. There's my supreme pizzas, my sausage and bread, and my beef Wellington. And that way I can consume them all and claim my healing axe. So let's see here. Yep, so there's the Hunger No More complete. There is my healing axe that while you hold it, it will restore food shanks, which is pretty awesome. I like it. Ooh, it even does the yellow food shanks while you're holding it. That is fantastic. So, in any case, right in here, there you can see I've got several of the spruces. There is my Ender IO farming station that I built. And there we go. There is my healing axe, and that will go to town working on these guys. One of the other things I did just a little bit ago while I was waiting for stuff like the meat to cook in order to make some of these products, I came over here and I ended up building my MV gas turbine so that I can power my base. And it also powers my peanut farm over here, but the big thing was to power this guy so that it can pump my stuff over here and start making more benzene, which then can get pumped back over to the turbine and cause hopefully an infinite loop of building up more fuel for me. So with that done, my first initial benzene setup is all taken care of. This is that HV conveyor that I was talking about. You can see it's pulling out the charcoal and putting it in here once every second, so it's not using up a ton. Once this guy fills up, then it should start filling itself back up. There it goes. All right, and so with that guy getting full, now it should start filling the rest of these guys. So yeah, excellent. I got my benzene setup running just fine now. That'll run this guy, which means that I can start to make use of it going into this fluid extractor in order to start powering this, which means at this point I really need to work on my ethanol or methanol setup, which will be done with the saplings that should be coming up in here. There's probably not going to be many yet because it has to fill up the Ender IO farming station first, but the setup is there. We're finally moving along, getting some better power into the base. All right, and with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. It has been wildly productive for me well, yesterday and today. So I guess next I need to work on that benzene. Oh, there's my unbreakable axe, got that done. So we need to work on the ethanol and methanol, and then I can start taking a look at some of the rest of this stuff. One of the things that I'd like to do is I'd like to get past the Essentia furnace and start working on some of the focuses in order to get to the corporeal attractors and maybe set up a wisp farm in the near future. So yeah, lots of fun in store, but I'm going to call this good for this video, and we'll see you next time. Till then.